The NBA has seen its fair share of jaw-dropping moments, buzzer beaters, wild trades, but nothing gets people talking like a scandal. And when an NBA player lands in handcuffs, that's when things get real. Today, we're diving into the most shocking arrests in NBA history. From high-speed chases to guns in the locker room, these are the stories the league wishes you'd forget. But fans, they never do. Stick around for number 3. It involves a player, a strip club, and a chicken wing. Let's get into it. Let's kick things off with one of the most infamous incidents in NBA history. December 2009, Washington Wizards guard Gilbert Arenas walks into the locker room with not one, but multiple firearms. Why? Because of a heated gambling dispute with teammate Javaris Crittenton. Yes, you heard that right. An argument over a card game got so out of control that both players brought guns to work like it was the Wild West. Arenas reportedly laid the guns out on a chair and told Crittenton to pick one. Crittenton allegedly pulled his own weapon in response. This wasn't a movie. This was real life. The fallout was swift. Both players were suspended. Arenas was hit with felony gun charges, and his career was never the same. Do you think the NBA handled this the right way? Should Arenas have gotten a second chance? Let us know in the comments. Next up, Jason Williams. No, not white chocolate. We're talking about the 6'10 center who played for the Nets in the early 2000s. Williams was known for his flashy lifestyle and massive mansion in New Jersey. But in 2002, things took a tragic turn.
Your use of alcohol has gotten you into a lot of trouble. Obviously, alcohol and guns don't mix. That's gotten you where you are today.
While giving a tour of his home to his limo driver, Williams accidentally discharged a shotgun, killing the man on the spot. Instead of calling for help, Williams reportedly tried to cover it up. He wiped down the gun, tried to make it look like a suicide, and panicked. The case dragged on for years, but eventually he pleaded guilty to aggravated assault in 2010 and served a brief prison sentence.
On the charges of tampering with evidence, fabricating evidence, both fourth-degree charges, those also will be 18 months terms. The counts will all run concurrent to each other, so it's a net aggregate term of 5 years in state prison, 18 months to be served without parole.
This one hits different because it wasn't just a scandal. It was a life lost. J.R. Smith has had plenty of wild moments, but let's talk about the one that had everyone scratching their heads. In 2007, Smith was arrested after being involved in a tragic car crash that killed his passenger. But the moment that lives in internet infamy, that came years later. During the 2020 NBA bubble, players were on lockdown. No going out, no parties, just basketball and room service. But not for Lou Williams, and yes, we're lumping him in with Smith for good reason. Lou was granted an excused absence for a family emergency, but someone caught him at a strip club in Atlanta, allegedly just to pick up his favorite lemon pepper wings. The internet exploded. While technically not arrested, the situation raised major eyebrows. And it wasn't the first time JR was involved in some off-court chaos either. From shirtless parades to DUIs, Smith has always kept it interesting. Be honest, do you think Lou was really just there for the wings? This next one isn't an arrest per se, but it's so wild we have to include it. Back in 1997, Latrell Sprewell, star guard for the Golden State Warriors, literally choked his head coach PJ Carlesimo during practice. Like, hands around the neck had to be pulled off. The incident lasted about 10 seconds, but the fallout was massive. Sprewell was suspended for the season and lost millions. The NBA made it clear violence against a coach would not be tolerated. Sprewell later claimed Carlesimo was disrespectful and constantly berated him. But still, putting your hands on your coach? That's career-ending behavior. Was the punishment fair, or was there more to this story than we were told? Now, let's talk about one of the saddest cases, Delonte West. Once a promising guard alongside LeBron James in Cleveland, West's story took a dark turn. In 2016, videos began circulating of West in public, appearing disoriented, possibly homeless.
I'm not the leader of the game.
But the true shock came in 2020 when he was arrested in Washington, D.C. after a bizarre altercation on the highway. The footage was heartbreaking. West, shirtless and rambling, looked like a man who had completely lost control. He was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and his arrest prompted a wave of support, including from Mark Cuban, who personally helped get him into rehab. West's story is a reminder: fame doesn't protect you from mental illness.
You know what I mean?
So you didn't invest your money or nothing?
I know I've took care of all my family, made sure my family, their kids, everyone went to college, you know what I mean, had homes.
And they don't do nothing for you?
You know, I stand on my own too, you know, I just, you know what I mean? I don't live for anything in return.
Should the NBA do more to support retired players struggling with mental health? Zach Randolph, aka Zebo, was always known for his tough guy persona. But in 2017, the former Grizzlies star made headlines for something even heavier. He was arrested in Los Angeles with allegedly over 200 pounds of marijuana.
NBA star and Indiana native Zach Randolph is in trouble with the law. Randolph was arrested last night in Los Angeles on a felony charge of marijuana possession with the intent to sell.
Let that sink in. 200 pounds. That's not personal use. That's intent to distribute territory. The arrest happened at a housing project during a wild party. Police reported the crowd became unruly. Patrol cars were damaged, and Randolph was arrested. Charges were later reduced, but the damage to his rep was done. Zebo later transitioned into a more low-key role, but fans still remember the bust. Should the NBA have tougher drug policies, or are they too harsh already? In 2018, former NBA player Rashwell Butler, known for his three-point shooting, was tragically killed in a high-speed car crash in LA.
And it is sad news about a former member of the Miami Heat. Rashwell Butler and his wife were killed in a single car accident early this morning in Los Angeles.
But what shocked people wasn't just the accident, it was the details. Butler was reportedly driving over 100 miles per hour in a residential area when his Range Rover slammed into a wall, flipping and killing both him and his wife. Toxicology reports later revealed alcohol, marijuana, and painkillers in his system. It was a heartbreaking end to a career that for many had flown under the radar. But the crash was a grim reminder of what fame, speed, and substance use can lead to. Do you think the media covers tragedies like this fairly? Or do they sensationalize athletes' deaths? Before Allen Iverson became the answer, he was almost lost to the system. Back in 1993, as a high school phenom, Iverson was arrested for allegedly starting a fight at a bowling alley in Virginia. Chairs were thrown, people were injured, and AI was hit with a felony.
Monday night, Jim's off. I'm Lisa Thomas-Laurie, and the big story on Action News is word from the Philadelphia DA's office that criminal charges will be filed against Allen Iverson. That decision follows an extensive investigation into an incident last week where Iverson allegedly forced his way into an apartment brandishing a gun.
He served 4 months in jail before the conviction was overturned due to lack of evidence. Many believe it was racially motivated and politically charged. The case nearly ended his basketball career before it even started. This arrest is one of the most controversial in sports history, and it still sparks debate to this day. Do you think Iverson was unfairly targeted? In 2013, big man Kendrick Perkins was arrested in Texas after allegedly getting into a fight outside of a nightclub. Reports say he and his brother were involved in a heated altercation with another group of people. Though the charges were later dropped, it added to Perkins' rough and tumble rep. The incident didn't derail his career, but it did mark him as another name in the list of players getting caught up in off-court conflicts. Should the NBA do more to prevent these incidents, or is it just part of life in the spotlight? Sebastian Telfair's NBA career never quite lived up to the hype, but his arrest record, that made headlines. In 2017, police pulled him over in Brooklyn and found what can only be described as a mini armory in his car. Multiple loaded guns, extended clips, a ballistic vest, and marijuana. He was later convicted of weapons possession and sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. For a guy once touted as the next big thing out of New York City, it was a massive fall from grace. Do you think Telfair's environment failed him, or did he sabotage himself? Okay, this one's legendary. November 2004, the Detroit Pistons versus Indiana Pacers game turned into one of the most chaotic moments in sports history, the Malice at the Palace. When a fan threw a drink at Ron Artest, he snapped. Artest charged into the stands, fists flying, and all hell broke loose. The brawl resulted in multiple suspensions, criminal charges, and a complete rebranding of NBA security policies. Artest was arrested and suspended for the rest of the season. He later changed his name to Meta World Peace in a bid to turn a new leaf. Was Meta justified in going after that fan, or did he cross the line? No list of shocking NBA arrests is complete without the Worm, Dennis Rodman. The 5-time NBA champ is just as famous for his off-court chaos as his rebounding. Over the years, Rodman has been arrested multiple times. Domestic violence, DUI, disturbing the peace, and even an incident at a karaoke bar in LA where things got so out of control, the cops had to step in. In 2008, he was arrested for allegedly hitting his girlfriend, leading to anger management and probation. And in 2018, he was popped for a DUI in California. California, with a blood alcohol content twice the legal limit. Rodman later admitted he had a drinking problem and checked into rehab. Still, despite the wild lifestyle, Rodman remains a cult icon, friend of Kim Jong-un and all. Only Dennis could survive all that and still be beloved by fans. Is Dennis Rodman misunderstood? Or is he just plain reckless? And there you have it, 12 of the most jaw-dropping, headline-grabbing, and downright chaotic arrests in NBA history. From locker room, gun showdowns, and high-speed chases to strip clubs, DUIs, and full-on brawls with fans. This list proves one thing. No matter how high you fly in the league, you're never too big to fall. Some of these guys bounced back, others vanished from the league entirely. But every story, a wild ride. So now, it's your turn. Which of these arrests shocked you the most? And do you think any of these players deserve a comeback or second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you want a part 2. Trust me, we've barely scratched the surface. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, stay sharp, stay safe, and stay out of the police blotter. I'll catch you in the next one.